Hi, so haven't used this in a while, and Sophia just went away for about 3 weeks, and she probably won't be able to look at these or respond at all. But I feel like I need to practice thinking about things, especially before my exams, and this is a helpful way. I think before when I was using YouTube, it really helped me to coherently form my thoughts and be able to speak them and actually help my public speaking a lot, which is lacking now. So I need to get back into doing this. Um, it really does help for people who want to get better at that sort of thing and who sometimes find themselves either letting their thoughts slip away from them and they aren't able to actually verbalize them properly. Because usually I can much better in writing format than speaking, and which is why I'm kind of terrified of pursuing a teaching sort of profession. But anyways, see, getting off topic. If people are afraid of doing that or want to get better, I think YouTube is a great way to actually practice um, and improve just the way you speak in general. Um, and I wanted to talk about practicing today and hard work. And I have this, one of my whole classes is called Issues in Literature and Culture. Um, and basically, it has to do with us um, looking at different texts and also looking at Bob Dylan, which has been interesting. I've been reading Bob Dylan, and I can't stand him as a person. Like obviously some of his songs are good. He writes some amazing poetry in his songs. But I've never really been a fan of his singing voice, and I think he's mostly just very manipulative. I always found that about him. Um, so I was just never really attracted to him as the persona. I didn't see him as some mysterious figure that, he was mostly just playing with people and messing with them. He didn't really care. That's how I saw him. But I think it's interesting that the way he crafted himself and the way he was perceived, and all of the people who, when he changed a bit to electric, how they called him a traitor when really he was never really this pure concept to begin with. And that's what the course is about. And it's basically trying to refute this idea um, that there is some, pure special thing inside a person, and that really it's just a crafted image. And this is something that I didn't used to believe at all. I used to believe, I have these romantic ideas about, authors and musicians and whatever, and that they were some, special humans that had a genius. And I mean, obviously, the musicians, this information kind of didn't come to me at first, but they obviously spent many years playing their instruments, and practicing, singing. Some people are gifted with that, with the ability to sing, but I think they still have to practice. Um, and writers who have to learn language and who obviously read a lot and have a lot of cultural knowledge to draw back on. So this idea, but then it's also very slippery because I think it really simplifies things to just reduce them like that, to take away from, the author of a work to say, oh, they're just um, this entity that is composed of all the different cultural things that have gone into them, all the experiences, and that there isn't anything to them because, in a sense, we do choose what to listen to. We do choose what affects us, I think. I choose what music to listen to, so isn't there something about me that is making this choice? Maybe something genetic, but I think there is some innate part to it, so you can't just do one-sided things, but I do think that a lot of it is about crafting your own image, and poetry should not just be a sploosh, or any writing should not just be, just a vomit. That's why, I don't know, I think I changed a lot, like I said. Even the past year, I used to listen to more, even just folk punk, like Andrew Jackson Jihad. I don't think anyone knows what I'm talking. Some people might, but just these very reactive but very full of passion lyrics with these extremely idealistic people. These vegans. I don't want to tear them apart, but they were just, I actually preferred. There's a song called Skipping Stones, and it's like, I'll be your lake if you are my skipping stone. And I really like that line. And I love that song is just some simple little love song that is so unlike them. They're these angry, hey, fuck the world, fuck corporations, one of their other lyrics is, I don't know, everything is real, but it's also just as fake. Your grandmother's, oh no, from your daughter's birthday to your grandmother's wake, something. And it's very catchy. But in general, the lyrics are meant to criticize society and make some overarching, claim about how it should be or something. And after a while, I felt I was not being critical enough of it, and it became so preachy. I felt suffocated by all of that stuff, and then I just tried to push myself away from that and just completely, oh, it felt like an attack on me. Like after a while, the songs really were grating, and they were just so pretentiously, I don't know, just, like you get the sense that they're made from people who are already at some higher level and they're actually able to live in this nomadic way because probably their parents were providing for them, or, you know, they have the choice, whereas, people who are buying from things made in sweatshops or whatever, they're probably poor and that's all they can afford. They can't afford these $200 organic shoes. So there's this very large hypocrisy there. And I mostly just didn't like the songs after a while. They were um, too much like someone just really vomiting on a page, just not well crafted. And that's where my thinking changed. Um, I didn't want to believe that there was some essence, to a person that made them special. I wanted to see to see creations that, they put a lot of effort into. Music that was not so politically reactive, especially. I don't mind experimental music, but it means more to me if someone creates some beautiful work that is, and then they have some very strong music background, like they went to school or something, or they've been playing for many years, than just someone who picks up a guitar and is like, here is this really crappy experimental song, but it's art and whatever. Um, so, I don't know. I want to do another part talking about this romanticizing of people that everyone does, and especially of artists and musicians and people who have a certain vision, and how they've manipulated others to believe that this is this might be part of their beliefs, or this is some grand truth. And I think that's a very interesting kind of manipulation, to be able to do that. I think in some ways I've been able to do that with people. Um, and that's interesting. Because even for a lot of my older poems, or any writing that I did, I feel very distant from it. And like, I am not that person anymore. And, okay, I'll do one more part. And I'll tie it in with what I'm saying in Bob Dylan.